This week on MotoMan, I make a pilgrimage to the Mecca of motorsports in celebration of a pivotal moment for Jaguar. Jaguar's been around for 75 years, and in that time, they've redefined sports cars, luxury cars, and Le Mans. And now, they're redefining themselves again. So what do you do to celebrate? You go to the ultimate car guy garden party, one fit for royalty. I gotta tell you, this event has been going on for a number of years. I've come a couple of times myself before, but I've never really found a good way to describe it succinctly. You being the proprietor, how would you do this?
Well, it's not easy, I guess, but it is just a huge celebration of the internal combustion engine in every shape and form you can imagine, from the very earliest steam cars up to the very, very latest F1.
I know you've got a classic car show, a new car show, a hill climb, and what else goes on here?
Well, it begins with a theme, really. So we pick a theme every year, and we try and then select the cars around that theme. So this year the theme is Viva Veloce, a passion for speed, because it's Alfa Romeo's 100th anniversary, and that's our broad theme. And then within that we have things like 60 years of F1, all sorts of big rally theme we've got this year, Australian racing, so all sorts of other things we bring in to then create the kind of editorial content of the event.
So I understand there's a really interesting history with both the event as well as your house.
Well, there is, in the sense my grandfather was a keen racing driver before the war. He was a good engineer and he loved flying planes, and he was keen on all things mechanical. So he built the racetrack at Goodwood in 1948. It was the perimeter track to a Battle of Britain airfield during the war.
Really?
So they put that in there to push the aeroplanes around to keep them away from being bombed, and it just happened to be a great racetrack. So we were just lucky that the Ministry of Defence just drew a great line around the edge of this airfield. And for all sorts of personal reasons, he closed it in '66. I was about 10 then, so I was pretty unhappy about that.
I can imagine.
So I came back to live at Goodwood in about '91 and started looking at how we could reopen the old racetrack. Just been sitting there completely under wraps all that time. So we started talking to the local authority, local government, about how we could do that, and there was a lot of resistance. So we realised that wasn't going to happen very fast at all. So I thought, what can I do in the meantime which would get it all going? So we thought, well, we'll run some cars up the hill in front of the house and see what happens. So I invited some friends with nice cars, we gave it a go, and suddenly 20,000 people turned up.
And here we are 19 years later.
Ever since then, and then eventually, we had about 175,000 now or something. So eventually, in 1998, 7 years later, we managed to get the racetrack reopened, and we had our first race meeting there called the Revival. Everyone comes dressed in 50s and 60s clothes.
Period clothes.
It's the only, we think it's the only major sporting event in the world to take place completely in period, and it's certainly the biggest historic race meeting in the world. And it's a wonderful thing. It has a wonderful atmosphere, and you'll see cars racing there you won't see racing anywhere else in the world.
What do you run up the hill?
Well, I've driven a mixture of things this weekend, but perhaps my one of my favourites of all is the 9083 Porsche. Perfect car for the job, the Targa Florio winning car, and I've driven that a few times. And I also was very privileged to drive the Lotus 38, which Jim Clark won Indy in 1965. And that car was, the moment Jimmy got out of it in '65, it was put away into the Ford Museum. It's never been out since, and they've done a brilliant job. They sent it over here this time last year. They left it here for a year with Clive Chapman, who's obviously the son of Colin. And Clive has rebuilt it completely, and I was the very first person to turn a wheel in that car since Jimmy won Indy in '65.
Okay, so celebration of internal combustion engine. I think you know by now I'm a bit of a car guy. And you've got this great hill climb here. I'd love to be able to get on the hill. Any suggestions?
Well, it's not easy.
I don't have a car. I didn't bring a car.
Are you a world champion?
Not at car racing.
No. What are you world champion at?
I'm a world champion at, let's see here. I'm a world champion at crashing parties.
Well, we had a bit of a party last night. I hope you might have... Did you manage to crash that one?
I believe so. I think there were some people diving off the balcony.
We had some pretty cool musicians here last night. Well, bearing in mind you're a good crasher of parties, there's a guy I know called Dave. Yeah. Who's very strong with Jaguar. You know, we're very, very, very keen on Jaguar here, and we have some... Jaguar has a great history at Goodwood.
Oh, and they got a birthday going on, don't they?
They do, and Jaguar raced, you know, next year's big time celebration for Jaguar for the E-Type anniversary, and Jaguar raced here very, very successfully in the 1950s. So we have a very, very close relationship, wonderful cars. So I think Dave might sort you out if you ask him really nicely.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to go find Dave and see if I can get on the hill.
Okay, well, I hope it works.
Thanks for your time.
Pleasure. See you, MotoMan.
Great party.
Hey, how you doing? May I help you?
Good. Yes, as a matter of fact, I hear I need to speak to a guy named Dave about rides.
That's me.
That's you.
May I help you?
So you are the guy I hear that is like the arbiter of all things going up the hill at Goodwood.
For Jaguar, that's right, yes.
For you, you're the man. Okay. So, what I'd like to do is go up the hill.
Okay.
So can you make that happen?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
You want to get yourself in the passenger side and I'll take you up.
Fantastic.
Okay. Now what we're going to do, I'm going to do a little bit of a crowd pleaser here, I think.
Okay.
There's some people with some cameras and we'll just warm the rubber up a little bit.
I think we should.
Do you think that's appropriate?
Oh, I think, you know
what?
In
the XJ?
Ian always told me, design isn't just about function, it's about having fun. So let's take Ian's design and have some fun with it.
Okay.
Share the excitement with the people on the other side of the hay.
Definitely a sharing kind of company.
Dave is a sharing kind of guy.
You think we should do a bit?
Yeah, a little pageantry, shall we?
Yeah.
Try that in the Jag on Rodeo Drive. Okay.
And we're going to go and try and chase this GT3.
I think we need to show Germany that we can't be pushed around, shall we?
Definitely.
Yes. I mean, you're from Coventry.
Should we go for it?
Come on, let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Here we go. Coventry after Stuttgart. Oh, we bounced off the red limiter there a bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. I'm going to come into the first. Just cut it across the inside.
Oh, I'm seeing a lot of flashes as we go. Do my license plates proud here, or shall I say number plates? This is the best way to see.
We've got to lift off a little bit here. This is the tricky corner.
Oh yeah, this is where the Ferrari wanted to make. We're not doing that. Very successful.
Now you can watch yourself going up in the mirror on the TV.
Hi, me.
Now this is the wall.
Oh, hey now. That's a very stone wall. A lot of hay up here too.
Yeah. Now you got to get in between the bales, get the gear right.
Okay.
Get on the gas. And then we go blast down to the finishing line. And that is our Goodwood experience.
Excellent!
So we're just doing 115, just going through the
115 where I saw 4 signs that say slow.
Slow.
That is the Jaguar version of slow. That was awesome.
It was really cool, wasn't it?
You know, I don't know what was more exciting, the going up the hill, or being in the sea of supercars, or seeing Lewis Hamilton up top, or just, I'm still deciding.
It's an experience you can't pay for, isn't it?
And it goes by like 2 seconds. Yep. We waited in that corral, I think we probably were sitting in about 50 million pounds of cars. And I'm probably not exaggerating. Probably a bit more. Not exaggerating. We're sitting in there for like 40 minutes, 50 minutes, and then it goes by in like 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's just amazing.
It's unreal.
Fantastic experience.
How many times have you been doing this?
This is the 4th time. It's 4 years we've been doing this.
And how do you get asked to drive up the hill for the company?
Well, fortunately, you have to work with them very well and get in with the team and make sure they trust you. And once you're in, you don't want to get out.
Is this something that they actually give you instead of a raise? Hey, you can drive good with this here.
It's kind of that way.
We'll keep your pay the same.
Yeah, in fact, yeah, they have to double my salary if they didn't send me to Goodwood.
Dave is the kind of guy that's got his priorities straight. Really good to meet you.
Okay, good to meet you too.
I can't thank you enough
No
for
worries.
an experience
Glad
I'll
you
never
enjoyed
forget.
it. Fantastic.
Scottsdale Auctions, Monterey Historics, Pebble Beach, all really cool car guy events. But Goodwood Festival of Speed are those combined and so much more. As cool as it is to see race cars of every vintage throughout the day, going up the hill at Goodwood Estate is a religious experience in the Church of the Gearhead. But it also made me realize something. Ian's reimagined XJ is not a celebration of the past 75 years. It's a great start to the next 75. We've just gotten a call from Dave's wife, and she's not concerned about her husband going up the hill very fast and potentially going sideways in his car. She's concerned that he got to see his Vulcan in the air. And that's true love.
That's a wife who understands me.
Not to be pedantic here, but Lord March did say it was a celebration of the internal combustion engine. So what is an e-tron, a Mini E, and a Tesla doing there? So at Goodwood, there's everything from early racing Fiats to Citroëns that were created for video games. But none of those hold a candle to this car. From car manufacturers to service companies, all of them talk about branding. It's really as simple as this. Get your name on a car going up the hill at Goodwood.